Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about the whole idea of pitching. As real estate investors, it's very important for us to raise private money, not just once, but consistently. However, a lot of real estate investors don't take the understanding and the process of pitching properly. And in my coaching program, I put a lot of emphasis on the whole pitching process. And I've divided that into three parts. The first part, I call it, is that I'm going to share my screen as you go along, and I'm going to actually show you a app that I've developed for my students, and I'm going to kind of move my screen around, so just bear with me. All right. So if you look at the lower left part of the screen right over here, you'll see one of the first things that I teach my students is to develop their 15 to 30-second verbal pitch. And why is this important? Because as a real estate investor, your first interaction with a potential private money lender is going to be casual. It may be in an environment where you may or may not be in control. And so, in other words, you will have less than a minute to actually tell the potential private money lender what you do in real estate investments. And so, there's a specific cues that I use to help my student develop a 15-30 second verbal pitch. Usually, what I recommend my student is to really be able to master your real estate investment model and be able to explain that as briefly as you can. I'm talking about between 2 to 3 sentences. It sounds easy, but it's actually hard if you want to put it together in a 15 to 30 second verbal pitch. And so your 15 to 30 second verbal pitch should have 3 or 4 components. The first part should be what your model is. The second part would be what the benefit is of doing that model in the real estate arena. And finally, the third most important part is why is that important for private money lenders or your funding partners. All right. Now, the purpose of this is not that your potential private money lender will listen to that and suddenly say, oh, great, I'm ready to invest with you. It doesn't work that way. The whole idea is to create that first interest enough for them to move on to the next level. That is the whole purpose of this. All right. So once you've done that, after this, I call the second section is called the one-page investment summary. So if you can probably see that on my screen, one-page investment summary is basically the next level after you've had your first potential discussion with your potential private money lender, where you did your 15 to 30 second verbal pitch. That's the time when they may say that, okay, I'm interested. Can you send me some information? You'll hear that quite a bit. And that is when you should be prepared to have a one-page investment summary. And what that is really is everything that they need to know on one page. All right. So briefly describing your real estate investment model, your terms, if you can put in a one sample deal, some financial, and your contact information. That is your one-page investment summary. It is extremely helpful. It's very, very valuable, but a lot of real estate investors don't do that. All right. Now, beyond that, which is the third and final stage in which you want to bring your potential private money lender into, is when you do your one-on-one presentation with a potential private money lender. That's when you have your full pitch deck, as you can see on the right here, on the right side. This pitch deck is something that is detailed, and it should have everything that you want to explain to a potential private money lender. In most cases, it's going to be more than 10 pages. Another mistake a lot of real estate investors make is that they email the pitch deck, and I highly recommend that you do not do that. I recommend that you present that pitch deck in live situation, whether you're meeting with your potential private money lender face to face. So meet with them and have either your pitch deck on your laptop or a hard copy. Otherwise, you can do it online, but again, do it live. So this is where you are going to go into a lot more details about your real estate investment model. You're going to go more in detail about your background, sample deals. You can go into financials, go into frequently asked questions, and most importantly, The most important part of your pitch deck is after you're done, you should have some call to action, which means what is that you want your potential private money lender to do next if they're interested in working with you. So this is kind of, I wanted to give you a rough idea. And the reason why I'm showing you this screen is I just put this together as a software for my students, and what I call it is PML Pitch Perfect. And what it does is it gives you prompts, and you can put in the answers, for example, the name of your company, your real estate investment model, and it will actually output a 15 to 30-second verbal pitch that you can export as a text, copy it and export it as a PDF. You can do the same thing for a one-page investment summary, but the amazing thing is you can also use this software now to actually create a full pitch deck that you can use to present to your potential private money lender. So again, this is one of the things that I provide my students in my Private Money Raisers Club. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you do, please subscribe to this channel and join my community in school. Thank you.